Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now in today's video, we're going to be checking out a very interesting comparison between a couple of the best mid-range 5G devices today. Now, these days we're seeing smartphone manufacturers pushing out new devices on a weekly basis. I guess it's quite fun to see all these new phones coming out, but I do have a couple of friends who actually reached out to me and they said like, Lim, what is one of the best, or what would I recommend if they are looking for something under 1,500 ringgit and they must be 5G enabled. So this video is actually for these people out there. Now the contenders of today is actually very interesting. I do have them with me right here. First up, we do have the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G. This is the top of the line Redmi Note 11 series. Apart from that, I also have the Realme 9 Pro Plus 5G. This is also the top of the line Realme 9 series. And last but not least, we do have the Samsung A33 right here, also 5G enabled. So we're going to be having a very interesting comparison between these three devices. The good news here is that all devices are actually the same price at RM1499 here in Malaysia, and they all came in the same configuration. That's going to make this video so much more easier. All of them come with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal memory, so this fight is going to be quite intense. But before we begin, we have to thank today's sponsor, and that is actually PriceShop Malaysia. Now, in case you don't know, PriceShop is Malaysia's most comprehensive price comparison platform for all sorts of consumer electronic products. So for example, before you purchase any electronic device, what you can do is head over to my.priceshop.com to find the best deal by comparing online and offline prices from over 400 trusted and verified merchants across the Klang Valley. That's in Malaysia, by the way. If you want to find out more info about these devices, you can also check out product comparisons at their site. This makes it so much easier for buyers such as yourself to find the best deal for any smartphone, smartwatch, laptops, tablets, and any other electronic devices. Today, PriceShop is partnering with Switch Solution to offer RM30 off any purchase above 500 ringgit made at their Shopee site. And you can get your promo code to that offer at my.priceshop.com, so links down below. And with that said, of course, let us begin today's video right away. Alright, so first things first, we got to talk a bit about the design of these three babies right here. Right now, design is always very subjective and everyone's preference is obviously different. In terms of form factor, now Realme is the most curvy around here, whereas the Redmi and Samsung looks more boxy. Design elements wise, you can see that the Realme and Redmi that I have here are looking a little more flashy, but there are more subdued colors also available. Samsung, on the other hand, has their own trademark look on as always, and it looks very clean and minimalist. In terms of the build quality, I'd say that the Samsung feels the most premium here, even though it comes with a plastic back panel. And yep, it's the only one that actually has that IP67 rating, so kudos to Samsung for that. Now, done with the design, again, like I mentioned, it's very subjective, but let's check out the displays at the front. Now, the good news here is that all three devices come with a Super AMOLED panel, so you can expect excellent viewing angles, great contrast levels, and colors that really pop. Now, what's different here among the three is that Realme and Samsung both come with 6.4-inch 90Hz displays, whereas the Redmi, on the other hand, comes with a slightly larger 6.67-inch 120Hz display. So viewing content on the Redmi is more comfortable as you have a larger space, and that smoother 120Hz refresh rate really helps the entire experience. Now, in outdoors here in Malaysia, we have very strong sun, and I noticed that all three devices were actually able to be seen or very visible even under that super strong sunlight. But out of the three, I noticed that, well, Samsung here actually has the best clarity in terms of the displays outdoors. So just wanted you guys to know about that. At the end of the day, I'd say that if you're looking for the smoothest display, you should go for Redmi, but the Samsung and Realme are not far behind as well. Alright, so now that we're done talking about the displays, let's shift gears and check out the camera sensors at the back. Now, in terms of cameras, you can see here that all three devices come with multiple sensors on the back, and they all have different megapixel counts. Now, the good news here is that they all have the necessary sensors that you need, for instance, your main sensor, and of course that ultra wide, but only the Realme as well as Samsung comes with OIS on board. To save time, I won't go through all the individual numbers and specifications, but what I'll do is I'll put them on the screen so you can press pause and take a quick look at all those individual numbers. Now, at the end of the day, the image outcome is way more important than your megapixel count or the number of sensors you have on the back. So why not let me show you guys a couple of photos taken by this trio side by side, and you can actually see which one you prefer. Alright, so now that we've done talking about the camera sensors at the back, the next point that we have to move on here is of course in terms of the processing power and how it actually feels like to use all these individual devices. So let's check them out. Right, so in terms of processing power, both Realme and Redmi uses the same Dimensity 920 processor, which is actually very powerful, whereas Samsung is using their own Exynos 1280 processor. All three are 5G enabled, so you don't have to worry about that. However, only the Redmi and Samsung here supports a micro SD card slot. Now, in terms of day-to-day performance, all three are actually quite identical. Carrying out daily tasks such as your social media, your internet browsing, and launching basic apps are all done very quickly without any lags. The mid-range processors of today are very mature and you will not find too much issues over here. However, when it comes to gaming, this is where the Dimensity 920 has a slight edge in terms of performance over the Exynos 1280. Now, I ran all devices here through a very quick Geekbench 5 benchmark, and you can see the results it shows from here right away. You notice that the highest one was scored by the Realme 9 Pro Plus, followed by the Redmi, and then Samsung with its Exynos 1280 processor. Well, software-wise, both Realme and Samsung are already on Android 12, whereas Redmi is unfortunately still on Android 11. Haptics-wise, both Redmi and Realme got nice X-axis haptics, which is very fun to play with, whereas Samsung is stuck with your average haptic engine. Alright guys, so at the end of the day, all three devices here are actually able to be very capable in handling all your daily tasks. However, if I have to choose just one device, I'll have to say that I want to go with the Realme 9 Pro Plus 5G. Out of all the three devices, this Realme here is the snappiest and also the quickest. Apart from that, it also came with Android 12 out of the box, and Realme UI today is actually very minimalist and bloatware free. So this is just my personal choice here, but I have actually done the individual reviews for all three devices and you can check them out on the channel. I'll put the links down below as well. Alright, so final thing we want to check out here, of course, is in terms of the battery. So all devices here come with very different batteries. Well, first things first, I would say that both the Realme and Redmi here comes with the same 4500 mAh battery, whereas Samsung takes it a notch higher with a 5000 mAh battery. However, battery is just battery, but in terms of charging speeds, this is where the Redmi actually excels the most because it does come with a 120 watt fast charge, which does 0 to 100% guys in just 15 minutes. That's really crazy. Now, moving on to the Realme, it is no slouch as well. It does support 60 watt fast charge and it does 0 to 100% in 44 minutes. But unfortunately, last but not least, the Samsung A33 here is the slowest out of all. It does 0 to 100% in more than an hour. I think it's almost 1.5 hours. It's just very slow. And apart from that, it didn't even come with the charger in the box. So yep, that is expected of Samsung as well. So in this case, I would say that the win here in terms of battery as well as charging speeds would go to the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G. Alright, so at the end of the day, you can see that all three devices here actually has each of their individual pros and cons. They're all great in their own way. So let's just start off with the Redmi over here. If you want the smoothest display as well as the fastest charging speeds, the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G is the one that you should go to. Moving on to the Realme 9 Pro Plus 5G, if you're looking for the best user experience, you want that awesome camera, is the Sony IMX766 by the way. So very awesome cameras here, and you also don't mind a slightly slower charging speeds, you should go for the Realme 9 Pro Plus 5G. And last but not least, the Samsung here is also very strong in one way. If you are looking for a guaranteed software updates along the years down the road, all I can say that the only place that you can look at is for Samsung. Alright, so that's it for today's video. Before we end off, a final word from our sponsor of today, PriceShop Malaysia. Again, if you're interested to purchase any of these phones, do head over to PriceShop to get your RM30 off promo code, which can be applied upon checkout at Switch Solutions Shopee page for purchases over 500 ringgit. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's very quick comparison between those three mid-range 5G devices. Again, if you want to find more in-depth reviews of them, I have all the individual links down below. And don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel. I hope to see all of you guys in the next one. Stay safe everybody. Bye!